What's up, guys? So I'm driving right now, but I got my phone set up on a little thing. I had to say that so that when my dad sees this, he doesn't get mad. But I just want to talk about the power of solitude and of being alone. So when you start to spend time alone, you start to really get to know yourself and you start to really look in and you see what it is that you're lacking. You become aware of what it is that you aren't doing, and you come up with ways to solve that and to fix that. And that can really only come from spending time alone, just you, yourself, and your thoughts. When you're around a lot of people and when there's a lot of noise, you don't really have time or the opportunity to learn about yourself in those ways. You don't have time to notice all of these things. And also, you need to break away from other people and be alone in order to grow and make progress. You need to stop going out all the time. You need to distance yourself. You need to start going to the gym by yourself. You need to start spending time with yourself in order to grow and in order to make progress in the direction in which you want to head towards. Every single successful person talks about how they had to separate themselves, how they had to go through these periods of isolation where they didn't know if it was going to work out because they needed to just be by themselves and focus on themselves and not have outside noise and not have these distractions. It's so easy to let other people in and to listen to other people's problems and just let other people seal your energy. And I'm not saying be a cold person. Don't talk to anybody. Don't have friends. Don't give help when people ask for help. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, though, is that you need to spend time by yourself and respect your own time. You need to respect the silence that your body needs, that your mind needs. Because if you never have silence, if there are just constantly inputs and inputs and inputs, then it limits the amount of output that you can have. And some people might think that's harsh, and maybe it is, but you need to stop making time for every single person, and you need to start making time for yourself. All growth comes through periods of solitude. And I'm not saying that you can't grow if you don't have solitude. I'm not saying that you can't grow with others, because we all know that teamwork is the fastest way to get anywhere. But in order to find a good team, sometimes you need to separate from others. And in order to become the person that you want to become, you need to separate yourself and you need to grow by yourself. You need to grow in solitude. So I truly believe that solitude and silence is the answer to most of our problems. But it's also one of the hardest things to commit to, because you have to commit to not saying yes all the time. You have to commit to saying no, no, I'm sorry, I can't do that. No, I'm sorry, I can't talk on the phone with you for half an hour today. You have to protect your own peace, and you have to just commit to that. And I have committed to that. I committed to it once before, about 2 years ago, and I made the most growth in my life. Financially, physically, mentally, I made the most growth in my life. And I have committed to it again, really throughout this year, but more so over the last month, because I've been home from school for the summer. So like I can hang out with my friends any night if I want to, every single night. And I love my friends. I love hanging out with them, but I need to have this solitude. I need to have this silence in order to grow, right? I can't be out drinking all the time. I can't be out partying all the time. I can't be going golfing all the time like I did last summer. I need to have time of silence. I need to embrace being independent. And I've always been independent, but embracing it over the last month that I've been home has allowed me to grow so much in this month. I'm accepting boredom, and I'm allowing myself to be bored and to sit with my thoughts and to sit in silence. And when I'm talking about solitude, I'm not just talking about like socially. I'm also, well, I am talking about socially, but I'm not just talking about like social face to face, whatever. I'm talking about being on your phone as well. You need to distance yourself from social media. You need to stop consuming what everybody else is doing all the time. We let people into our lives every single day by just going onto social media, and it steals our energy, it steals our peace. Like, if you wake up and the first thing that you do is get onto social media, you are letting hundreds of thousands of people into your bedroom in the morning. And the morning is one of the most sacred times that we have. It is a time of silence, a time of solitude. And if the first thing that you're doing is hopping on your phone and going onto social media and scrolling on Instagram, scrolling on TikTok, watching YouTube videos, you are letting all of those people into your bedroom at the most sacred time of the day. And that first 5 minutes on Instagram turns into 20. And then you go into TikTok. And then you're on there for 20 minutes. And then you go back to Instagram. And then you go back to TikTok. Because you need that dopamine. Because you're addicted to consumption. Trust me, I have been there. I have been there. I have been the one who was scrolling on social media for an hour in the morning before getting up out of bed. I was the one who was falling asleep with my phone in my hands. I was that person. And I'm telling you that since I have stopped doing that, since I have embraced the solitude, since I have stopped letting hundreds of thousands of people into my room in the morning and in the night when I'm trying to be at peace, I have found peace by not doing that anymore. I did not word that in the best way, but I think you know what I mean. Like, since I have stopped consuming all these other people's lives in the morning when I first wake up and at night when I'm trying to go to bed, I have had such a higher quality of life. And my mind is so much more at peace. And mentally, I just feel better about everything. And I have become a better person, a harder working person, a more organized person, and a more disciplined person because of it. It is so easy to get into such a negative routine, and it is hard to break it. But you need to. You need to embrace solitude. You need to embrace silence. Because if you don't, you are not going to grow. So you need to distance yourself from people in person and online. And this message might come across as harsh to some. It might seem like I'm cold-hearted, whatever. But you need to just be able to be independent. Because independence is where you are going to grow. Times of solitude is where you are going to make progress. So, one of the main things holding you back is your inability to be alone. It's your constant need to consume. It's your constant need for these quick dopamine hits. You know what gives me dopamine now is going on a run, going to the gym, going for a walk, meditation. And I'll be honest, meditation is one of the hardest disciplines that I have tried to master, and that I've been in and out of meditation routines. And to be honest with you, so far this week, it's Friday, I have not meditated this week. I have not meditated once. I have failed on that feat. But I know that I will get back to it. Hopefully today I'll have some time. And it's really hard, but that's what gives me dopamine now. I'm not consuming as much as I was. I used to watch these videos of these entrepreneurs living these crazy lifestyles, and I was like, this is great. I'm manifesting. No, I'm not. No, you're not. You're not manifesting anything from that. You're just consuming. Manifestation can come from your own mind. The life that you want to live is already a vision. It's already a dream in your head. You just need to really sit down and look at it and then ask yourself, okay, what do I need to do to get here? And then you have to go and do it. And the only way to do it is to shut off the noise. It's to embrace silence. And it's to live in solidarity. So that's my message. I know sometimes I get all over the place with what I say, and I'm trying to work on that, but it's hard. But I guess, yeah, my message is just, you need to be able to live in solitude. Solitude is so powerful, and you need to be able to do things by yourself and be independent in order to grow and make progress. Solitude and independence is not always comfortable, but your goals are on the other side of uncomfortable actions. So turn off the noise and start living in solitude.